Take two. Should have audio now. I don't know why, but AirPods didn't work. In an age where technology, I feel like Phil right now trying to figure out technology sometimes, but for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't like my AirPods. So we're just going to raw dog this. We're just going to use the mic speakers, I guess, and you guys are just going to have to hear what I'm editing. So probably have to turn that down just a little bit so you guys don't all hear that. So, but yeah, you're just going to hear a lot of this.
What's up, Cock?
That's all right. We'll turn that down a little bit. Hopefully everybody can hear me now okay. Sorry for the issues earlier, but we'll get them all figured out.
BrunsNick's back, and it's time for the Columbia 3.
Yeah. So here we are. Good. Welcome in. Sorry about that little snafu. Back. Gio, welcome. I think we got this all sorted. Everybody can hear me all right? Hopefully. All right. We good? We good? All right, good. Yeah, I mean, YouTube just does not like my AirPods. And I don't have all my fancy equipment from the office, so I'm just going laptop today. Hopefully you guys can hear that. You probably hear me editing a little bit. You hear me in the background talking as well. But I'm one of the few guys, few YouTubers that doesn't have people for this, doesn't have people for editing. A lot of these YouTubers have people for that. They share their channel. You know, they give basically a portion of their channel for editing and doing all the back end work, you know, the filming, the editing. And it's just me. I'm a one-man operation. You know, sometimes I'll have special guests in, but I do everything on the side here. So what's good? What's up, everybody jumping in? Dan, F14, Spirit, Kevin, Patrick, Guten Tag. Is it afternoon there in Germany? I'm thinking about 5-6 hours. Loud and clear, Michael, Dustin, Bolgemart, Henderson. What's up? Going on? Henderson, Nevada? Is that what we're talking about? Are we talking about Sunset Station over there? What's going on up there? What do I prefer, scratch or handicap leagues? I mean, if I had a choice, I would like to both scratch. But around here, you're not going to find much of a scratch league anymore. There's not enough people out there that want to both scratch in most places. I would love to both scratch. But, yeah. They just I bowl in a handicap 5-man men's league now in a 6-lane center on Old Wood. So yeah. Norman, Todd, I remember you from staff. Extreme Envy, Mesmerize. Extreme Envy is a little more forward for me. Both of them hook a ton. Mesmerize a lot more back end. Yeah, the cohesion additive. There's just something magical about that. It's a lot stronger on the back. It sticks to the lane better, and doesn't need to be super dull to hook. So, yeah. You know, Nick, you ever have a rock roll over the fingers, but be an absolute beast? The most I get is like on like the stealth bowling balls. The ball, like I only find it on the symmetrical balls, but it flares so much it clips the thumb on the back flares, like right before it hits the pins. But no, I never have any issues tracking over fingers and thumb. You know, I'm pretty lower track, like 4.5 over, half up, so I don't ever really get issues with it clipping the thumb or anything like that. But for 2-finger bowlers, you know, I see a lot more of that because some of them have a lot more issues getting the track off the fingers. So as the year has progressed, Brian Schumacher, do you think the hammer effect is still the ball of the year? I'm sticking with it right now. There's been some good bowling balls, and we got more to come out. So I'm sticking with it. I feel like that is the most usable ball right now. I feel like right out of the box, it was just so good. I'm sticking with it. First ball with cohesion. You got to go with the OG, right? Favorite ball right now? I mean, other than Purple Hammer, it's got to be the hammer effect. Now, my favorite ball out of this last bit of launches now, like right now, I'm working on Super CUDA Edit. And actually, I'm not doing much editing right now. I'm just asking a bunch of questions. Didn't think that through. I was like, I'm just going to be answering questions. But at this last bunch, that one reverb, probably going to be one of the more used bowling balls. I think maybe with a touch of surface, I think you're going to see a lot of play with this ball. But it's almost a sin to try to take the surface off a ball that pretty. But Yeah, I remember you, Norman Todd. I remember all the conference calls we used to have. You were on every single one. I remember. So, hot take, Joe Doe, Wicked Collision, Hammer Effect. Hey, teach their own. If you think that one's better, that's awesome. Yep. Locked on lot because you use an odd grip with an odd drill pattern. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, Sarge Easter, though, it's making a comeback. Not that it ever was popular, but there's like 2 or 3 good people out there using it now. So, 150, 1521. You retire the Katana Strike. Maybe a new Katana on the way. Is the OG Katana still the best one for you? I still have an OG Katana in the box sitting in my office. Made a video, or actually I made a TikTok not long ago of all the stuff I still have, and I actually held on to all the Katanas brand new. I kept one extra and just kept it with me because those balls, that core was pretty special. I actually like that Katana Assault the best. That's the one that had HK22. Colors were nice too, and the ball was pretty flippy. That ball is going on almost 2 years old now, so I'm pretty sure that one's been discontinued as well. As far as more Katanas coming out, I don't think that's in the plan. I don't think there's going to be another one. So maybe wait a few years. Phil changes mind. Mike, what is a good hybrid right now for mostly up the right, speed dominant bowler? Well, I mean, you got a lot of options. It depends. I mean, for speed dominant players, I'm probably going to recommend asymmetric bowling balls. You know, something that's going to give you a little more easy way of getting the ball to slow down. I don't really like putting speed dominant players in symmetrical bowling balls. Off the top of my head, you know, Hammer Effect is probably the one I would suggest. You can't go wrong with that one. But there's a lot of options. I mean, we got 7 brands to choose from. I mean, there's so many different bowling balls that you can go into. But if you're playing up it, I mean, this is the thing. Like with a ball like Effect, you can adjust. You can make that move in. You can, change, where you're standing and where you're targeting, so you can make that ball more usable. Pete, here we go. John Doe, how many times can a ball be resurfaced before it's no good? That is a loaded question. So the Coverstock is all the way through to the outer, right? So the main thing on some brands you got to worry about with resurfacing is taking out the logos. So when you take out the logos, the ball's done. But with our bowling balls, you're never going to do that. When we're talking resurfacing, going like, say, bringing it back to box 500, 2000, whatever the process is that we label, you can do that almost infinitely amount of times. I mean, you don't need to do that every week, but there is, like, the Coverstock's good all the way through, so you're not going to, like, wear it down where it's no longer good anymore. Main thing is just don't get rid of the logos and that, but you're not going to have that issue with Brunswick branded bowling balls. You're just not. So Dustin, need a reverse Sarge. Too much load on my middle finger. Yeah, I don't know if that's really a thing. Yeah, I mean, you can change some pitches around. Maybe go something where you take that finger out of play a little bit. So, Paul, what's the strongest ball you've used? I'm looking for something clean through the heads, but really reactive. Okay, so when you say strong, there's 2 kinds of strong. There's strong overall, and then there's clean and flip. So it sounds like you're looking for something that's clean and flip, as opposed to just gritty and contraction and oil. So if you're looking for something just flat out hooks and, not necessarily like clean, is the Mesmerize, is that Pure Envy we just come out with. Bowling balls like that. There's a lot of other options as well. But if you're looking for clean and flip, if you want something that's just all back in, the new One Reverb, the Vaporize, Hammer Effect, Stealth Hybrid. I mean, I can go on and on and on. A lot of the shiny balls we have, especially if you look at them with HK22, they will traction better in the oil than most bowling balls, and they will continue harder on the back. So, Xavier, what do you think about the Verge Pearl? I own one, Prism Solid. I'm going to get a Rattler Big Bite as a burn ball. Well, I mean, Verge Pearl, it's been a long time since that ball's been out. So I I don't remember much about it. I mean, the Verge Pearl. Are you talking about damn good Verge Pearl or Verge Pearl? But they were all, mid-range bowling balls. And if you're pairing it with your Prism, you might want to reverse that Rattler Big Bite and make your Verge Pearl your burn ball, because I think your Rattler Big Bite will take place more of the mid-range ball. BMSRTR, any suggestion for my fourth ball to get? New Blue, Violent Collision, Track Stealth, Hybrid, House Centers, medium oil. All right, so you got 2 symmetricals and a Violent Collision. Sounds like you got your shiny stuff. I think you're missing like a benchmark type ball. I know the New Blue is probably going to be your benchmark for that. And it's probably more for when the lanes are drier for you. Mid-range ball. The Rattler Big Bite's a good option. Gosh, I gotta have my catalog here, my list of bowling balls here. But you're gonna want something in the mid-range, GB5, something that's a little smoother, symmetric. So, yeah. There we go. Dyadic bowling. When it comes to pads, why Avalon pads when you need to do steps rather than CTD pads when you can use the one pad? That's not how it works. So our finishing process, when you go 500, 2,000, okay? And I don't care what other marketing says. This is just facts. If you just put 2,000 on a ball, okay, you can have a true 2,000, right? And the peaks and valleys are going to be even, right? But if you just take a ball, let's say 500, 1,500, and you hit 2,000, it's not going to be even 2,000 all the way across, because you're still going to have the bigger peaks and valleys from the 500 underlying. So when we process grit, so when we go 500, 2,000, that's a finishing grit, you're going to have the big peaks and valleys, and then you're going to have sub peaks and valleys, smaller within. So within the big peaks, you're going to have smaller peaks. This is all at a microscopic level. So saying, oh, this ball's 2,000 grit, that's not 2,000 grit. The actual scanned grit is probably going to be somewhere between 500 and 2,000. So let's see. F14. Does that mean you can get rid of logos on purple, hammer, urethane, reactive teal, New Blue? No. Our engraving process is with the laser CNC. So I'm not sure of the depth, but you can sand the ball all you want, and it's going to take you a long time to get those logos out. So no chance. Vince LaGrange, what one ball? I'm allowed one ball in a tournament. What's it going to be? Purple hammer. That's it. So I don't know what the pattern is going to be. I'm going to throw purple hammer. That's my pick. That's when I'm going to be able to throw spares with it, and I'll be able to play hopefully outside, and I don't have to move in too far. So I will gamble on that. DB, how often should you refresh a ball that has factory compound on balls that are issued? The factory compound, you don't have to. There's not as much maintenance as a ball with factory compound as opposed to like something that's dull. A ball that's 500, 1,500 is going to take a lot more surface maintenance to keep up with, rather than a ball that's, compound. So every ball, when you throw it, is going to find a medium grit as you start using it. So whatever the lane is, so say the lane is 4,000 grit, whatever it may be. I don't know the number. I'm just throwing out a number. Over time, bowling on that same lane, your ball is going to become 400 grit or 4,000 grit over time. Now, a compounded ball, the surface scan is probably somewhere in that range. So you're not going to have to change much of it. The only time to freshen it up is when you start seeing some track burn or track marks on it. You might actually see the ball dull down a little bit in that spot. So depending on where you bowl. So wood lanes, it happens a little faster, it's a little softer, so it creates some more friction. Alan, up here the lanes start out hooking a lot, then tame down as the night goes on. He's a counterattack solid and would like to play straighter. Any suggestions? I have a payback and a Bigfoot. You're going to need something that's, you got a counterattack solid. I would shine that up. If that's your only best bet, you're going to need something that flares less and is less. I would just add a lot of shine to your counterattack solid. Your payback and your Bigfoot are gonna flare too much, gonna be too strong, not so great from playing straight. Payback might be okay when they're fresh, but I would go to counterattack solid when they're shiny. All right, let's see what we got. BMS Stealth Hybrid is my favorite. Bought it after review. It really is a trip 4 king. Yeah, I think I tripped 4 total in that video. Crazy. Yeah. I don't normally trip 4s, but when I do, I really get excited for it because I usually never do it in competition ever. It's just one of those things. So Elijah recently purchased Vaporized Stealth Hybrid and Hitter Pearl for the start of the Fall League season. What's your opinion on my bag? I mean, it's pretty shiny overall. I mean, Vaporized, Pearl, Stealth Hybrid, and Hitter Pearl. So you got 2 Pearl ASIMs and a hybrid shiny symmetrical. I mean, if you like to see skid flip, then I think it's great. But you probably want to maybe keep the surface rougher on either the Hitter Pearl or the Vaporized, just so you have a little bit more separation between the two. Alan, which of the newest releases has gotten you most excited for league season? So I bowl in an old wood center and a lot of friction. So anything that I can play usually straighter with and stay on top of the friction and control the pattern a little better is what I'm most excited for when it comes to league. The ball I'm editing right now, actually, I'm not doing much of any editing right now because we're just answering questions right now, and that's fine. But the Super Cuda. So Super Cuda was actually a ball that, I didn't really have a whole lot of high hopes for. When it comes to like benchmark symmetrical bowling balls, I'm just kind of like, all right, cool. It's just, it's going to be good from straight. It's going to be okay from when I move in and then, completely run out of energy when I have to move really far in. But Super Cuda actually held its own okay from inside and gave me some good pan action. So it kind of reminded me, lower flaring. It didn't flare a ton for me across the whole ball like a lot of these balls. So it maintained a lot of that differential. It didn't really go up or down. So anyway, Lazy Line, greetings from the Netherlands. Hey, welcome in. Thank you for joining in. Sam from Australia. Damn, what's going on down under? Putting together 4-ball Black Widow set for various conditions. Which ones do you recommend? So I don't know what your market is over there. I don't know if you only get like the U.S. releases or you get the international. And to be honest, I don't know what the international releases are. They're their own market. We don't get them here to test. I don't get to throw them, so I don't know anything about them. I don't know that it's a good idea to have 4 Black Widows in a bag. Maybe 1 or 2. If you're looking at current releases, the 3.0 and then the 2.0 hybrids one, and then I would go to a Scorpion Strike from there down. So that would be a 3-ball arsenal. 4 Black Widows. I mean, I think that's just a flex. I think. I don't know. Jay Squiddy, do you think Mesmerize is a ball for 2-handers for a house shot? Is it too much for a ball for 2-handers? Probably. I mean, I've seen a lot of honor scores already come in. We've posted a bunch of them. So it is usable, but you might just need to play with the surface. I mean, it's a strong ASIM. That core is pretty cool, that triliptic. So, I mean, out of box, yeah, probably. I don't know what your speed's like, but yeah. Miss you. What's up, man? My man from the booth. What's going on? Memo. What up? Yep. Xavier, what is the main difference between activator composite technology and activator extreme hook? From a chemist side, I don't really know. So, the additives that they add in there, they're either friction or they're length giving, so most often than not, when you see something like extreme hook, it has more friction additive to it to create a little smoother, stronger and oil. ACT, I think that's just a short for the basic one that we came out with originally. Jack MP, Drill the Max Bias from the podcast. Spin. Nice. We got a winner from the podcast in the chat. We love it. Yeah, so we've been giving out a lot of good stuff. If you guys didn't check out the Perception versus Reality podcast this past week, we actually had a triple grip sack winner. We spun it 3 times, and 3 times grip sack came up, so we gave him 3 grip sacks. But like in this case, he got a max bias, drilled it. He loves it. So, Xavier, any burn ball recommendations? Yeah, Tundra Blue Fire, something that flares a lot less. Hammer New Blue, a little bit of shine. Yeah. Mike asks, do you ever deviate from your typical 60 by 5 by 20 for drilling? So I use 3 different layouts in the videos. You know, ASIMs I use 65-20. I don't deviate from that whatsoever. I use it all the same on asymmetric bowling balls. Symmetric, I use 60 by 4.5 by 20. And then for the thick shell bowling balls like Purple Hammer and the thick shell stuff, I use 4-inch pins, so 60 by 4 by 20. No, I don't ever use anything different. For the sake of the reviews, I keep it all the same, and these are the same balls that go with me to tournaments and stuff like that. So I don't drill anything separate or new or anything. I'm not really a big proponent in changing layouts. I think once you find a good layout, then let the differences between the bowling balls, you know, the cores and covers be the difference in your reaction. So I really like the way the ball rolls. I'm going to change balls to something weaker cover, less flare, and I'm going to be able to make my changes from there. So see what we got. Yeah, I'm really not doing any editing. Sorry for the false advertising, but I'm just taking questions, which is fine. I don't mind doing anything like that. Fun Saver Network at 63. I'm having shoulder and forearm problems. Any suggestion? I'm already throwing 14. I love bowling. Don't want to stop. I mean, if you haven't seen a doctor already, go see a doctor. The other thing is get your grip change. You know, get checked. You may not need a change, but you may need a drop. You know, don't worry about going lighter weight. I did a video where 12 and 13 pound bowling balls, you know, they hit just as well, and you'll be able to bowl without pain. So if it means going to a lighter weight, do it. You go to 13, but check it out with your doctor first if you haven't already. So Big Tyler, my current league bag is Optimum Idol, Hammer 3D Offset, Dark Web Hybrid. Been thinking about adding the effect as my shiny strong ball. I think you should. So 3D Offset, I mean, that's, I believe it's maybe a light pearl, but pretty smooth ball. Dark Web Hybrid, pretty smooth. I don't know much about Optimum Idol, sorry. But yeah, if you want something more flippy, I would think that the effect is going to be the most flip. Runs Yuck in the chat. About time you make a video. About time. That's all I got to say. Michael Snow, any tours at HQ in Muskegon? No, we don't offer those. There's really, I mean, believe it or not, there's really not a whole lot to see at a tour. I think if anybody did a tour of Muskegon, they'd be not really, there's not a lot to look at. So, and there's not a lot we can show you because a lot of the R&D and stuff is done in-house, and we don't let anybody back there. It's really one big warehouse. It's like a 400,000 square foot warehouse. And, you know, there's not much to really show other than, you know, the office building and the 6-lane house. So, no, we don't offer any public tours. Clint, I need more retro bowling balls. I agree with you 100%. Rivs, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Joy Scarborough, what's up? Going to be in your area coming up, going to visit. Nice. Swing on by. Come say hi. Locked on Law, triple grip sack. Yeah, I can't believe it happened. And actually, it was actually four grip sack spins in a row because the practice spin that day was also grip sack. So the wheel, everyone's going to say is weighted. Pickle, what layout do you recommend for a Black Widow for low rev player? I don't really know. You know, it's I don't know your game, so I don't really get into layout suggestions. I would say for low rev players, you know, depending if you're low speed or not. So there's so many variables there. Talk to your pro shop. You know, if I suggest a layout and it sucks, then you're gonna come blame me. So go get your, you know, PAP check. Go have them check out how you bowl. They'll be able to pick you out a layout that'll work best for you. Let's see. Is Phil out of 3-ball roller set? Yeah, you would think so. I mean, we've given out 3-ball rollers, triple totes, and yeah, no one's won a 3-ball arsenal in a while. It's been about 5 weeks now, 4 weeks now, but yeah. Norman, I appreciate it, man. Just want to give you your flowers while you're on. Very appreciate you take the time to answer questions. Yeah, I mean, we do this on the podcast every week. You know, I figured since I'm in here Saturday editing, figured do some Ask Me Anything and go live for a little bit, you know, while we're doing this. You know, I figured that I'd have more time between questions so I can get some editing done, but it's not the case. That's all right. I'll take all the questions for a little while. It's no problem. Skylar, what is the best ASIN ball for a low rev, low speed bowler? Well, I mean, you want something lower flaring, so I would go with probably NV Tour. I would say that's probably the best, something that'll stay, you'll be able to stay in control, but still take advantage of the stronger cover. So original NV Tour is fantastic. NV Tour Pearl, another good one as well. Where do you guys, Bruce, where do you guys store the A2s? I don't know what you mean there. We don't have any A2s. Those are long since gone. Got a couple A2s in the 6-lane house. Lanes 3 and 4 are A2s. Austin, I'm playing surface. First time on my breakaway. What grit do you recommend? I would start with 2000 by hand. Go from there. You know, the box surface on that was, I think, compound, if I remember right off the top of my head. So hit it with 2000, go from there. I mean, I don't know your game, and I don't know what you're bowling on, but if you're looking to just tinker, start with 2000, work from there. Daniel, got the weapon, Mo-Rich weapon of Mass Spice, given to me, pretty cool older ball. Yeah, hopefully it's still in good condition. You're able to use it. You know, bowling balls do not get better with age. You know, people store them different ways, and sometimes they come out looking pretty bad. So, Brandon Hayes, Bowling Wolf from TikTok, still want to bowl two-handed amateur versus YouTube pro. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. No, challenges. I don't do a whole lot of challenges out there. If I want to bowl two-handed, you know, or bowl against a two-handed, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do more challenges in the future. Maybe when our pros come in, I'll challenge them, like Ogle and Packy and all of them. Put them to the test. Nobody wants a piece. Nobody challenges me to nothing. I'll take any challenges. Brian, one more question from me. I now have 3 bowling balls, adding a 4th, dark web, hammer effect, and axe or spare ball. Would a phase 2 complement what I have? Yeah, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry, Brian. That's a competitor product, and I can't really tell you that. So sorry. No way is that the real BrunsNick. I don't know what you mean, Egg. It's me, buddy. It's all me. Yan Hongo. What's a good budget ball? So I just did a video last week on top budget bowling balls. Go check it out. There's about 10 of them, 11 of them that I made the list. But go check out that video. There's a bunch of them. You know, right off the top of my head, GB series bowling balls, Scorpion series bowling balls. A lot of good bowling balls in there. And, you know, I took a price point, and that was the cutoff for the most I would recommend. Is a sharp cover from the Rattler weak enough to play on 42 to 45 transition house shot? Yeah, I mean, that's a very general question. Not knowing your game, I have no idea. I'm sorry. Brian, tell them to make the blue sapphire zone again. Yeah, they don't listen to me. I tell them a whole bunch of old school bowling balls to make, and nobody makes them. So, you know, when we do get some good ones, like the Rhino Pro Teal that came back, and it came back as thick shell. So that one was a win in my book there. Gabriel, how strong is the Stealth compared to NV Tour? I mean, they're a different kind of strong. You know, you got a lot of flare from Stealth, and you don't have a lot of flare from NV Tour. It's probably half as strong as far as core numbers go. Cover-wise, they're probably comparable. So, you know, the Stealth, you'll probably be better suited playing further in, where NV Tour will be better playing straighter. So they kind of flip-flop where their strengths are. GJ, is there a difference between 4-step and 5-step approach besides one extra step? Damn, you took my answer. Yeah, it's timing. So some people find timing better with 4-step, where they push away right away, and some people need that extra step. Me, I like to give a little extra credit, so I think I take 6 steps. So it's all about how you can get that firing mechanism going and get that timing on point. So for some people it's 4-step, for some people it's 5-step, but ideally you want to get to the line in time. ADHD, next pizza. You more of a pepperoni guy? The barbecue chicken was a long shot. Yeah, I like pepperoni. I like barbecue chicken. I like all sorts of pizza, and I don't care who says what, but pineapple belongs on pepperoni. You give me a pepperoni, pineapple, and onion pizza, and I'm good with that. Paul, I cannot wait for next week. They're coming to my house with a ball trial, so demo. I can throw the entire lineup. What should I be looking at? Honestly, I mean, throw them all. That's why you're there. Get a few shots in with each. Don't be afraid to check them out, and try different ones. And also, don't tire out because, you start bowling for over an hour and the fatigue sets in. So try to limit the amount of shots you throw with each to really get an idea of what each ball is doing for you. Lazy Lion, low rev, average speed bowler here. What's the best way for me to attack Broadway version 2 pattern? I don't know what that pattern is. I'm sorry. I don't have every pattern. I don't know any patterns really. But you're probably low speed, average, low rev. You're probably gonna have to attack it straighter. I don't know the length of the pattern, but my best suggestion is, start around the track. I don't know the length, so I could be giving you bad advice here without knowing that information or what you bowl on and all that stuff. Christopher Rodriguez, what ball should I fill in for my arsenal? Please help. I have Mesmerize, new, I'm guessing new blue, and a white Widow. Yeah, I mean, it looks like, you got your ASIMs covered up top. You need a stronger symmetrical. So maybe like a GB5, something that's going to be a step down from Mesmerize, but maybe a little better from playing straighter. And then that's stronger and smoother than like, your new blue. Charles Demonche. Should I use a duller symmetrical benchmark ball for faster, higher rev player? So you're faster, speed, and higher rev. Yeah. So if you're looking for a benchmark performance, yeah, I mean, something like GB5 where it's dull and it's smooth, yeah, that's it. Green Machine, was new blue a flop? No, absolutely not. That was actually one of the highest selling bowling balls of 2023, and it was only out for the last few months of 2023. I think they didn't really use it on tour because we came out with the Black 78. But, the pros are going to use what they want to use. So if they feel like they have a better shot to strike with a true urethane ball in the Black Hammer, then they're going to use that, even though it doesn't necessarily hook as much as a purple, they made it work. So I think they picked up a couple of titles with that. Oh, man. Twisted Fury. Who said Twisted Fury? Ribs? No, we're not bringing back the Furies. The Furies, I remember the Furies. They had that torsion core, and then they had the other torsion core. I was not a fan of the Fury series there. Left-hand rookie. When filming in the studio for ball reviews, what camera setup do you use? I actually use 3 different cameras. I have a pair of Canon R6s I use, and I have a Sony camcorder down below for the lane level. I always felt that camcorders had a better look from down below for lane level rather than a DSLR. Just focal length. We don't have a lot of bright light in the studio, so you need a camera that works well in low light, and camcorders are just much better than DSLRs are. So hopefully that answered your question there. BrunsNick, I'm getting a new Scorpion low flare. I'm going to throw Monday night. That's a great ball. That's another ball for anybody that's looking for a benchmark. I forgot about that one. But Scorpion low flare, stronger cover, I think non-HK, lower flaring to play straighter. Pretty sweet. That was a good ball. Will they ever be coming with a hybrid Envy Tour? I mean, it's possible. I don't know what's on the plan, and even if I did, I couldn't speak to it here. But, Hammer's always got something going on. I think there's a lot of stock in the Envy name, and I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. So, I am Martimus. Nice. I am Spartacus. I like that. All right. I like that play on name there. Which do you prefer, New Blue or Rattler New? I like the Rattler New a little bit better. I think it is, for me, closer to a purple. I actually brought the Rattler New with me as opposed to the New Blue, just because it flares a little bit more than my urethane bowling balls. So it creates a little smoother, stronger motion. It still has that early dig. New Blue, great ball, but I think I needed it more for burn, for dry. And I actually like that ball in league better shiny. So I actually shined it up with some decent success. So I've tried both of them. Rattler New ultimately made the bag for Nationals. Golden Pro, what makes the purple hammer so good? It's the only urethane I've thrown. No need to get another. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those anomalies. It's a formulation in urethane that nobody seems to be able to copy. Before Brunswick acquired Hammer, we tried to copy the reaction shape, everything about that ball. We couldn't do it. Now our competitors, they pretty much gave up on it. They went to microcell and non-urethane. Most of the urethane out there is not even true urethane, so it's urethane-like. So bowling balls, that you've seen that are popular from other brands, not true urethane bowling balls. So yeah, Purple Hammer is going to go down as one of the best balls in the history of bowling. And it's funny that it came out in the reactive era too. So David Taylor, rev rate 370, high tilt, speed 16 to 16.5. Is that off your hand or is that down at the pins? Need to grip it and rip it, symmetrical hybrid that gives strong continuous shape. I don't throw through the break point. Stealth hybrid, yeah, I think so. So that ball gripped the lane pretty hard for me without rolling forward or being too weak. I think that was probably one of the strongest symmetrical bowling balls I've seen in a while, especially on the back end. And it trips 4 pins for me all day. So see what we got. BrunsNick pin down a mold. All right, I get it. Paul, appreciate that you appreciate this, man. Yeah, I'll go on for a little bit longer. I really do have some editing to do. I'm not doing any of it right now. I'm just answering questions. So appreciate all you guys joining in with me on this Saturday afternoon. I don't do many live videos, so enjoy it. If we get caught up on questions, maybe I will start to edit some videos, and you can actually hear like a sample of what it's going to be like for Super CUDA. That's what I'm working on now.
What's up, guys?
So
BrunsNick's back, and it's time for the Columbia 300 Super CUDA.
But yeah, I edit all my own videos. A lot of YouTubers have people for that. I do not. So, I'm a one-man show. I set up, I light it up, I mic myself up, I bowl, I oil my own lanes. I don't have any people for anything. So definitely could use an intern, because especially on those videos where I have to set up my own pins, like the candle pin and the duck pin stuff and all that stuff, they're fun to do. But man, that takes a toll, because I got to lay flat on the pin deck and put them all up by hand. I usually save that video for last, because I'm usually drenched in sweat after doing that, because I have to run down every shot and reset up everything. Fish the pins out of the back pit, bring them to the front, set them up, go throw my next shot, do it all over again times 10. So big pain in the butt. But I like doing those videos when I can. I think eventually I want to get to the Northeast and actually do some traditional candle pin and duck pin bowling, because a lot of people, say, hey, come on out. I'd love to do it. I just got to get out there. So fast approaching fall, and I don't know that it's going to be a good time to come, but we'll see. Charles. Okay, good. Yeah, I never get names right sometimes. But hey, I got it right the first time. Awesome. Have a great day, buddy. Xavier, are you able to do a ball comparison of the recent ball like Mesmerize versus Extreme Envy or something? No, I don't do a whole lot of comparisons. I used to, but when you get videos that are so specific, they don't appeal to a wide range. And it actually takes me a lot more time to do a comparison video and doing the editing for that to make it worthwhile. Obviously, I don't have endless amount of time to do all that stuff. There's a lot of YouTubers like The Hype, for instance. I even have his chamois right here. There's a lot of YouTubers that do those comparisons, and they actually compare them right there in their original videos. So I've kind of gotten away from it. I don't really do a whole lot of comparison type videos. Once in a great while, if it makes a lot of sense, I'll do them. But for the most part, I've gotten away from it. Yeah, so I mean, the other nice thing about the way I do my videos is, the structure is the same every video. So I'm going to start on one zone. I'm going to throw a few shots and move 5 boards at a time, and then give you the specto data on top of that. So if you're savvy, say if you're interested in Extreme Envy versus Mesmerize, take a look at the specto numbers from each zone, and you'll get an idea. And pay close attention to one, total hook, but also the most important thing, I think, is the 3 last things: is entry angle, impact angle, pin deck exit. So those are going to tell you the story. So when you see a stronger entry angle, and say it's 5 degrees of entry angle, and then you see like the entry or the impact angle, say only like 5 1/4, 5.5. That tells you right there that ball is very smooth on the back end. It's not creating more hook through the pins. It's rolling a little more forward. So all that hook that it did at the break point is kind of tamed off, and it's going at that same angle through the pocket. Now, on the flip side, if you see a ball with like, a 3 to 4 entry angle degrees, and then it shoots all the way up to like 6 to 7, sometimes even 8 and above, that ball is skidding past the break point. It's not doing a lot in that spot, and it's really coming on strong in the back. So that relation of impact angle to entry angle tells a very big story. And then the last piece of that is pin deck exit board. Where did that ball finish through the pins when it hit the pocket? So did it keep driving through the pins, or did it hit the pins and then deflect off to the right? So use that information to your benefit, and I think you can get a lot more out of the videos, especially when you're trying to compare one ball to another, because let's face it, I'm not going to go back and compare an Extreme Envy, which is a ball that's been out for quite some time now, in an industry where bowling balls are pretty much forgotten about after 3 months. So go back, find the videos, look at the specto, and hopefully you can find some information that'll tell you the story, because I bowl in the same pattern, do everything the same in the videos for a reason, and give you the data. So hopefully that helps you there. All right. What else we got here? Not your average bowler, Jason. Any chance of a hammer wrench remake? Probably one of the very few that really likes that ball. No, for that very same reason, because it probably wasn't that popular. I mean, that was a ball that came out before my time with hammer, throwing the brands there. So probably not. But you never know. I mean, there's a lot of old hammer names like nail, wrench, all that other stuff that are still in the, there's still names in the hammer brand, but I don't know if they'll ever see light of day again, Arlie Riche. As a semi-beginner average 150, what would be a key piece of wisdom to take on board? All right, you're averaging 150, so my suggestion would be to never give up the pocket. So on your first shot, always make a point of hitting the pocket. So if you're right-handed, between the 1-3, because you got to hit the pocket in order to strike. And 2, get really good at making spares. So making the right adjustments, watching some videos on how to adjust and how to pick up spares, especially the easy ones, because just by picking up spares, even if you didn't strike once per game, you'd average at least 180. Okay. So the other thing is, if you really want to get better, if you don't already have your own ball, get custom fit into a fingertip ball, and take a lesson. So those are my suggestions there. Eric, if you could bring back any Inferno ball with HK22, what would it be? I would bring back the original. I mean, that was my favorite one out of all of them, the original. I have one still of the vintage at my desk, brand new. I haven't drilled it, kind of saving it for a rainy day, but I'll probably never drill it just because. CR Frank, how long did it take for a consistent swing? I bowl 5 to 10 games a week for the past year. Well, I mean, everybody's skill level is a little bit different, so there's no, oh, you're going to be a good bowler after 2 years. It's about having a method of bowling that's easy to repeat. So that's when you talk about consistency. So get on video, film yourself bowl a session. If you're going to bowl a couple games, film it and just see, because you'll be able to feel differences. If you're bowling that much, you'll be able to feel differences shot to shot, and then watch the video and see what you did different. So, okay, well, whenever I miss, I tend to pull my arm left, or whatever the case may be. You'll be able to find inconsistencies in your swing and be able to correct them. So, like with anything, video is so important to be able to watch yourself bowl, because sometimes what you think is happening is completely different than what's actually happening. So, get on camera. Have you seen Chef? Used to bowl league as a kid, finding out a mate of mine did too. We got into your videos to see what balls to think about when getting back into bowling. Love your stuff. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you watching the videos and supporting the channel. So hopefully you get a lot out of them. And when you guys actually get back to bowling, pick something you really like, sir. ADHD, pepperoni, pineapple, onion is the Sarge Easter grip of pizzas. Those who know. Everyone else is just going to look at you funny. I mean, I got some, I like the Hawaiian root type food. I don't know if the Hawaiian pizza was the first one to put pepperoni on pizza, but you pair that with some onion, that's pretty dang good. Dustin, am I safe to assume there will be another Black Widow early next year? That's been the case every year, with the exception of the Pink Widow. I think that came out kind of mid-year or whatever. But, yeah, one per year. You can probably assume that there will be a Black Widow next year. That's probably safe. Stephen Hayes, what's your asymmetric favorite ball right now? Everybody knows Hammer Effect. I'm sticking to my guns. 2024, I still think it's the best ball of the year right now. Jason, rev rate 480. Ball speed 17.7.5. Down lane. Looking for a new asym and symmetrical. All right, so you throw it plenty hard. I'm going to go ahead and recommend either Pure Envy or the Mesmerize up top. And symmetrical ball. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a step down, probably something like that Stealth Hybrid. But with that much speed, even with that rev rate, you probably do a little bit of surface on every ball, man. So hopefully you bowl well this season, man. Yuck. Nick does a fantastic job with his videos. Brunswick's lucky to have him. I appreciate that, Yuck. Really do. And I appreciate your tenacity when it comes to making just about every premiere that I do. Hopefully I'll see you later tonight too. We'll see how long I go here live. Probably not much longer. I'll probably cut it off at an hour here. So about 13 more minutes will go. Because I actually do have to get this video edited if I wanted to post it for tonight. And I'm getting kind of hungry. So got to get lunch in there as well too. I can't edit on an empty stomach, you know what I mean? So kind of funny. So on a side note, at the very beginning of the year, I did a live where, we talked about goals for the year and, trying to get to 26,500 subscribers by the end of the year. And I believe I'm on pace. Last I checked, I'm on pace to get there. I think I'm at 22.6, 22.7 right now. So there's still work to go, but we almost have 4 full months left of the year. I think I'm going to get there, especially with league season kicking back up. The views are going to jump up quite a bit here soon. So that was a huge goal of mine. I wanted to gain 15,000 subs over the year. So just over 1,000 a month, which is a lofty goal. And we're getting there. So I appreciate all you guys' support and talking about it. So, all right. Lockdown Law. The Purple Hammer was the brainchild of someone who figured out that if no one was going to use the durometer hardness testing any longer, they would take advantage of that. Yeah, I mean, we can argue that all you want, but I mean, early on, the 6 and 7 balls were actually made soft. Purple Hammers and urethane balls in general do not get softer over time. So they might measure softer on a durometer when you bowl with them because the contaminants in the ball will impact the reading of the needle. And even just a nice surface cleaning with alcohol doesn't get rid of 100% of that. USBC proved that. The only way to get rid of all the contaminants in a Purple Hammer bowling ball, because urethane bowling balls do not absorb oil, but they retain oil right in the peaks and valleys of the cover stock. So if that's microscopic, just all the oil is going to hang out in the peaks and valleys. And the only way to get rid of all the contaminants is with a resurface. So if they were to hit it with 500 and field test these balls again, they're going to test at what they come out at. So 74, whatever the number is. They don't, it's absolutely ridiculous that they're testing bowling balls with oil on them and contaminants and saying, oh, hey, it tested a lot softer. It's like, well, yeah, because there's oil in the ball. So that's a fact of life. Funade, you should do a candle pin video. You bowl with duck pins. You want me to throw the duck pins at the candle pins? I mean, I can do that, but it seems like a lot of work. Let's see. DB, this has been awesome, very helpful. Well, I appreciate it. I think I'm just glad that there's people actually here to ask questions, and I'm glad I can help people with their arsenals. A lot of people have very specific questions about their arsenal. A lot of them I can help with. Some I can't. When they get too specific with layouts and stuff, it's kind of hard to, talk about all that because I don't know the person. So, Vintage Ghost, what is your favorite Widow to have thrown, and which do you think you can have thrown? Yeah, so I missed the Widow train completely. I've been on staff with Brunswick since 2003. So when Widows came out, I didn't throw any of them because I was with Brunswick the whole time. The first ones I threw were the first ones that we made. So the Black Widow 2.0 and so on. So I have very limited in my use of them, but the 2.0 hybrid, I think, was by far my favorite one. And which one do I think I could have thrown? I mean, back in 2006, when the first original ones were coming out, I wish I probably could have thrown those, the original solid. I think that would have been nice to have in the bag. Nick, how did you become a Brunswick employee? So I first started on staff, like I said, back in 2003. And I worked in pro shops, and eventually I bought pro shops. So I owned 2 pro shops. I bought 2 in 2008. So the one I was working at, I bought, and I bought a separate one shortly after that. So I had 2 pro shops, and they offered me a position in 2010 as a sales rep. They wanted me to be the West Coast sales rep. So I took that position. I closed down one of my shops, and then kept the other one open for the guy that was running it there. So, yeah, they reached out to me. I've always been involved with Brunswick. I always helped them with trade shows, demos, anything, Bowl Expo, that kind of stuff. So I was always available to them as a staff player when there wasn't a ton of staff players out there. And over time, I always did videos, and they just saw the value in that. So they offered me a job. So I'm guessing they haven't regretted it, because coming up on 15 years with the company here in 2025. So it's been a good run. Been a really good run. Dustin, I'll swing across the lake. Oh, pin chase for you. That's what I really need. I need someone that can set up pins. It's such a pain in the butt, because people are like, oh, why don't you just do it on lane 1? It'll be easier. It's like, well, no, on GSX, there's a side wall there that blocks it. So there's no easy access to the pin deck, and it's a process. It's a lot of work to get those videos done with the candle pins and stuff. Why can't the pin decks just pick them up and reset them? They should make a interchangeable pin setter deck. That'd be awesome. So, Papa's Hobby Garage, your Bolden League for the first time Wednesday in 18 years. Welcome back. We took 3 out of 4 points. Hey, you still got it, buddy. So keep going. MG, have a hand issue. Have a callus on my thumb, left side on knuckle. MG, go talk to your pro shop, show them where it's rubbing, and they can make some adjustments. So it sounds like you're going to need some sort of adjustment with your grip. It could be a thing about span. It could be pitch. It could be both. So have them check out your hand and make some adjustments on it. So it could be something simple, just working up the thumb a little bit. I don't know. So without seeing your hand and being your pro shop guy, it's hard for me to diagnose, but it's one of those few things. Game Breaker 825. How do you line up your feet to your target? Example, you want to play 15 at the arrows, 6 at your break point. How do you go about lining up your feet? Well, I mean, there's a lot to it. So if you want to play 15 at the arrows, 6 at your break, I use a 2 targeting system, okay? So if I'm looking at 15 at the arrows, okay, and I want my target to be 6 at the break point, I'm going to have to align my feet in a manner where I'm going to look at the first set of dots. They're roughly about 8 feet out. arrows are about 15. And I'm going to draw an imaginary line from 6 board at the break, which is typically, I don't know, 42 feet. Let's call it 42 feet, whatever. And bring it back through 15. And I'm going to find that spot at the arrows, I'm sorry, at the dots. And I'm going to have to move my feet enough that my eyes are aligned when my body is adjusted to that zone. So where that is, I don't really know offhand. It could be on 25 with my feet. It could be on 20. I drift a little left. So it's a matter of, you know, there's no set rule. There's no right or wrong answer because you could drift, you know, your ball speed might be more. You might be able to play a little bit, you know, further right, left, whatever. But it's all about it, aligning your eyes, and that's the best thing I could say for you there. BrunsNick, I'll be there and do my laundry. I like to have clean clothes for Works Premiere videos. All right, that's cool. Yeah. Do you have laundry service? Do you offer that kind of service? Because I'm going to need a laundry. I'm going to go live for about 5 more minutes. I'm going to wrap it up here in a little bit because I actually do have to get this video edited. I thought for a fact I'd be able to do some editing while I'm taking questions, but you guys have been so great with actually keeping me occupied that I just can't do both. My brain is on a one-track mind, and either I answer questions or I edit. So it seems to be that's the way. So we live and learn. You know, I don't go live very often, but I'd rather give the focus to you guys and your questions. So Brad, one of my teammates bowls right-handed and starts his approach with his right foot. Should he work on starting with his left foot or just leave it as is? If his timing is fine, I won't worry about it because if he's 4-step and he's right-handed, you know, that's probably what it is. I start with my right foot and I'm right-handed. I take 6 steps. My first few steps are very small and then I build into it. So that's the most important thing is, are you on time? It doesn't matter whether you're 4-step, 5-step, 6-step, or Mark Roth where you took like 20 steps. So Enzo Del Cruz, greetings from Philippines. Welcome, man. What time is it over there? You guys are probably, what, like 10 hours ahead? Something like that, 11 hours ahead? I don't know exact time, but it's got to be late there. Go to bed. No, just kidding. Currently own Extreme Hammer. I keep saying Hanver. I said it in my Pure Envy video. I had so many outtakes where I kept saying Hanver. Hammer. There we go. Hammer effect. I am speed dominant and rev challenged. Is it advisable to get the Pure Envy? If you have the Extreme Envy already, I would say you probably do not need to get a Pure Envy unless you're looking to replace your Extreme Envy. I don't know that you'll see a world of difference between the two having both in your bag. You know, you do have 2 asymmetric balls in your bag, and I think you're probably fine with that. So unless you're looking to replace it, I don't know that it would be too much difference for you being speed dominant and rev challenged. I don't know that you'll see a lot more difference out of it unless you kept one really dull and you brought the other one up a little smoother. So Jeff, BrunsNick, longtime fan, what do you think the best ball from each Brunswick umbrella brand? Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to look at a catalog, I guess, for that one there. But I'll try to go off the top of my head of just kind of recent stuff. Right now, Brunswick, I think the best ball is the Mesmerize. I was very blown away with that ball. Not only how much it hooked, but where it hooked. Normally when you get bowling balls like that, you know, they're good from straighter. They're good from breaking down patterns, but they don't really continue when you move all the way left and try to throw it right. So I always like to test that and see what a ball is made out of. DV8 right now, I think that Wicked Collision is pretty dang good. It's got that cohesion additive. You know, I'm more speed dominant, so I'm going to probably favor more ASIMs. So that's going to be different for someone that might be more rev dominant. From Radical right now, you know, that Hitter Pearl was pretty special, I thought. I tend to like bowling balls that are, you know, mellower color, you know, easier to control. That ball was pretty flippy, but it wasn't like over the top. It still had a lot of continuation, and that's a lot to do with the core numbers after drilling. You know, the intermediate doesn't shoot up super high. When you start getting way over 020, then it becomes a little bit more hard to control because that hook window becomes so short. Ebonite, this new one reverb, you know, it's going to be one of those bowling balls, I think, that kind of wows people and might go under the radar a little bit. The GBs are great. I just don't use them a whole lot, the GB series. So let's see what else we got. Track, that new stealth hybrid. But there's so many good bowling balls in track, it's hard to just pin it on one. If I had to pick out of all of them, that would probably be my one that I choose, a symmetrical ball, that stealth hybrid. Going back, there's so many good bowling balls in that line. Theorem is probably overall the best ball we have in that line, but stealth hybrid, for a newer ball, symmetric, I think that's a great one. Columbia, that's a good question. I don't throw a ton of Columbia right now, and if I had to put it on it, this new Super Cuda is probably the better one. In the past, I did really like the original Cuda. That's discontinued now, so you're getting the Super Cuda. And I really actually like that Piranha, that blue Piranha Solid. That was a good ball. But if I'm talking best ball in recent years, that high speed was the best for me. So I was very impressed with that ball. And Hammer Effect. There's so many good bowling balls in Hammer. It's hard to just say one, but Hammer Effect. All right, I'm going to try to get a couple more questions, and I'm going to wrap up because I got to get this video edited and out there by 7 o'clock tonight. So, all right. Dustin, best advice for current pro shop owner? And it's been a while since I've been in the pro shop business, but I've always been a firm believer in keeping inventory stocked, always having something that people can buy, and don't be a shop that you just have to order everything, because people will just order it online. If you don't have it, they'll just order it online and bring it to you. And that's not a bad thing, because, with drilling and all that, but you don't want to just be a service shop. You actually want to make money on the sale as well. So offer your services and, take advantage of doing lessons. That's a big thing, building relationships with customers. And the thing I used to tell my employees all the time was, like, during league, if you're not busy in the shop, or say you have help in the shop, go walk the concourse, go talk to people. It's amazing what you can find out from bowlers if you just ask questions. So just like here, people have a lot of questions about their arsenals. What should I do with this? What should I do with that? Can I resurface that? You can drum up a lot of business and help a lot of people in the process by just going down and talking to bowlers. So make yourself noticeable, make yourself available to bowlers. If you have a lot of leagues, then definitely walk the concourse. Kevin, I have an arsenal of an old Magnum Urethane and GB2. I'm having issues getting either to turn the corner when I have to open up my angles. He's an Ebonite fan. Take a look at this one reverb. The GB2 is a very smooth ball. Magnum Urethane obviously is not a ball you want to use from playing in to begin with, being urethane. And GB2 is better, control ball playing straight. So you're going to need something asymmetric, something shinier, something with a stronger pearly cover. Check out that one reverb. So that ball comes out very soon. And if you, by chance, can't wait until the 19th to get it, then there are other bowling balls. That Emerge Hybrid was actually pretty flippy. So there are other options, but the one reverb, I would wait for that one. Basic Bowls, thanks for everything you do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like I said, I'm going to wrap up here in a little bit. I'm going to try to get through these last few questions here so I don't leave anybody stranded here. Grumpa Baggins, what was your favorite? The Hitter, Dark Web, Stealth. I'm going to have to actually go with Dark Web Hybrid. I know that wasn't one of the choices there, but from the Web series, that Dark Web Hybrid was my favorite. But if I had to pick from what you had, I would go with Hitter. Probably 9 times out of 10, I'm going to pick an ASIM ball. So, Steven, I take 3 steps. Should I try 4 or 5? I would definitely practice it. A lot of your ball speed is going to be generated by your legs. So with only 3 steps, you don't have a lot of time to get your swing in order and get that speed through there. So, yeah, try it. And if you need help, get a lesson, get a coach, get on camera, watch yourself bowl. Timothy Pope, what do you think if you're speed dominant and a slow hook person? Can you recommend a 3-ball arsenal, preferably? If you're speed dominant and you don't have a lot of hook, you probably want to go 2 ASIMs, probably a solid resin up top, like a Mesmerize. You're going to want a stronger ASIM, shinier ball like Effect below that, and then dealer's choice for your kind of benchmark down ball. I always like to recommend the Scorpion Strike down from there, because you got that 1, 2, 3 punch where you're going to have aggressive bowling balls, but still good when you can throw it hard. Rocco 607 SE remake. And the number system from track was way before my time. So C Strikes, is there any way you can have a comparison matrix of the balls you review so it's easier to understand the performance of the ball? Maybe. You know, doing a ball chart, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have specto data on each one, and I do all my videos the same. So if you want to understand like the true strengths, you know, you got to watch the ball motion and look at the specto data. I talked a little bit about that. Pay attention, obviously, overall hook and all that stuff. But entry angle, impact angle, pin deck, exit board, those are the three numbers that really tell the difference with what the ball is doing. So my videos are all done the same, ball in the same zone, use specto. Check out the data. That's the best way to really gauge. You know, I don't know that I'd ever put a chart together. It's it might get muddy with 7 brands and, you know, 60 bowling balls a year. So let's see here. GOBMX, I would like to get my elbow closer to my body on the downswing. What's a good way to make that happen? Get a coach, get on camera, practice that. So if you're looking to keep your elbow in, you know, you got to get that ball, you know, work the inside of the ball to keep that elbow in a little bit better. So nothing but golfs. I need an opinion on asymmetric that's strong back end other than effect. Okay, go vaporize. Go one reverb. There's a lot of bowling balls out there that are asymmetric and flippy, you know, so yeah, there's a few. So I'm going to take these last 2 questions, and then I'm going to bounce out of here. So any balls that you would love to see brought back? Gosh, I don't know. I would like to see some 90s Columbia balls keep making a resurgence. I would like to see the Columbia Rage. I would love to see that one come back. Yeah, there's a bunch of them from the 90s I'd love to see. I'd love to see some old Brunswick balls from the 90s. I would love to see a Helix come back, but we can't make that ball any longer. So, Fable Bowler, do you still use bowling balls like the Black Widow 2.0 hybrid or solid? I still have them. You know, I don't really use them. I use all the newest stuff. I mean, those balls are still in the line. But, no, I typically use a new ball every week when I bowl league. So it's kind of an ongoing gag. Is in the past, before I was doing these videos, I would drill a new ball every Thursday and go bowl with it. So new ball Thursday was coin. Now I just kind of pick and choose a new ball every week because I want to see what they do in my own center and see how they do in competition, see how it does in real time with other people breaking it down. Because, you know, in my reviews, I'm the only one bowling on the lane. I'm the only one breaking them down. So it's not a real world experience of how it's going to do, you know, because you don't have 9 other people on the pair bowling. So I hope that helps. But, you know, I wouldn't hesitate taking the 2.0 hybrid, you know, just when new bowling balls come out like Hammer Effect, I'm going to usually replace one with the other. So that's just how it is. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thanks, guys, for joining me this afternoon. I really appreciate all the questions and support. I know it was an editing party, but I didn't actually do a single bit of editing while I was in here. So helping you guys out was more important. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have a video come out here at 7 o'clock as long as I can get it, get some food in my stomach first and then get to editing here. So it takes me about 90 minutes to 2 hours to edit a ball review video. And most of that is ciphering through all the specto data. You know, I don't have people editing for me. I'm the one of the few YouTubers that does everything himself. I even oil my own lanes, set up equipment, tear down equipment, throw the shots. So everything I do from start to finish is all me. I don't have any help with it. So I'm going to get to it. Take care. Enjoy the weekend, guys, and be safe out there. I'll see you guys on another video.